The narrow corridors of the hospital's psychiatric ward seemed to stretch on forever, their walls lined with faded photographs of smiling patients and well-meaning staff members. It was as if each visitor had left behind a fragment of themselves, an attempt to humanize this labyrinthine place where the rules were never clearly spelled out. Dr. Ilara Vex, a soft-spoken psychiatrist in her mid-40s, navigated these passageways with a practiced air, her eyes scanning each room for signs of trouble. She had worked here for over a decade and yet still felt an eerie sense of disorientation whenever she stepped foot on the ward. Ilara's first patient of the day was an elderly woman named Zoraida. The hospital's records indicated that Zoraida suffered from acute paranoia, often lashing out at staff members who failed to meet her increasingly unrealistic demands for care and attention. Ilara had reviewed these files multiple times before their scheduled meeting but couldn't shake the feeling that something fundamental about this case was missing. As she entered Zoraida's room, Ilara noticed a small notebook on the bedside table. It was filled with cryptic entries written in an unfamiliar hand. The shadows grow longer, they're watching from beyond the glass, and I've lost count of the days. Each sentence ended abruptly, as if Zoraida had been interrupted mid-thought. Their session began with Ilara asking about these writings. Zoraida's response was a blank stare, her eyes drifting towards some invisible point outside the room. The words seemed to have triggered something in Ilara, a growing unease that she couldn't quite explain. Over the next few hours, Ilara conducted rounds and met with several other patients, each of their stories slowly unraveling like threads from a frayed fabric. And yet, as the day wore on, her thoughts kept returning to Zoraida's notebook. Those cryptic entries seemed to be seeping into her own perceptions, tainting everything she observed. In the hospital's records room, Ilara stumbled upon an old file labeled Patient X-47. It detailed a series of inexplicable occurrences within the ward, misplaced items, changed routines, and increasingly erratic behavior among staff members. The entry stopped abruptly after a single sentence, "We've been replaced." A shiver ran down Ilara's spine as she realized that Zoraida might not be the only one whose reality was slipping away from her grasp. The hospital itself seemed to be evolving, its walls subtly shifting to accommodate some unseen purpose. As Ilara made her way back to the ward, the shadows in the corridors appeared longer and darker than before, a reminder that she had entered an uncharted territory where time and space no longer functioned as they should.